It is very common to see farmers or leisure farmers try something new, like growing a new crop, and then it fails. They come to a conclusion that farming is hard, farming does not work, and all these things. And then they quit or exit this industry just because they missed one simple but effective factor that they should have considered. You'll be surprised what they are missing. Stick around and we'll reveal this simple factor and walk you through what we are doing as Omae Farms. When you're venturing into farming, we found out that there's two factors that is a must that we are using right now. That's what we have found out. Other farmers have different ways or things or whatever they're doing. But these two factors, which one we talked about is one that's most missed by most farmers or leisure farmers, is soil analysis. Simply put, soil analysis. People may think it takes too long. I don't want to wait too long after soil. We send the sample, we wait for the sample to analysis and all these things. Some people just want to plant right now. They find a seed, they want to put that seed on the ground, but they're just missing this one important factor. The second factor we have found is not only soil amendments or soil analysis is important, the crop that you're planting requires specific nutrients. When doing your soil analysis, when you send it to the lab, also indicate what you are intending to grow. And then when you do that, they will recommend what you need to put on the soil to amend the soil to those levels that this crop is needing. And those are very important factors. And we'll see from the clip we're about to play of Solomon, one of my project managers, explaining what we are doing or what we have done and the importance of that. So watch it right here and take a look at what we are doing.
Welcome back again to Omae Farms. Today we are going to explain the journey that we have taken in regard to our soil amendment process. For any farming to take place, you must first do a comprehensive soil analysis. So today I'll take you through the process that we have undergone as Omae Farms from December last year up to date, so that you can clearly understand soil amendment process is not an easy process. It is an expensive process, but it requires a lot of being keen and also having a lot of attention to details. So we did our first soil analysis in December last year and realized that our soils had two main problems. One, the soil pH was low, because we noted that after the results, we achieved a soil pH of 4.25. This is highly acidic, and very few crops would survive in such kind of soil condition. So we had to amend that acidic condition from 4.25 to an ideal condition of between 5.5 to 6.5. The recommendation that we got from the lab that we had taken the soil sample to was that we do an addition of dolomitic lime. Dolomite, the main essence of that is to raise the soil pH to almost neutral. But when we did the application of the recommended volumes and did a second soil analysis to confirm that we either got the right results or the wrong results, we noted from the second soil analysis that we did have an over application, and our soil pH shot from 4.25 to 7.49. So we moved from having acidic soil to a point of having also a highly alkaline soil. So now this one became apparent that we needed now to go to stage 2 of our soil amendment, because none of the crops that we are doing, the main ones I had mentioned before, the herbs, the avocados, and also our orchards, which have mangoes, citrus, papayas. We realized that none would survive in that. So that is when we realized as Omae Farms, we needed to come in with a second recommendation of soil amendment. I'll take you through what we have been doing or what we are currently doing. This is our 4 acres of open herbs where we are doing rosemary, mint, we are also doing thyme, and also we are doing flat leaf parsley. Ideally, the 4 crops would survive in a soil pH of between 5.5 to 6.5. After the second analysis, we are at 7.49. So we need to bring this down to between 5.5 to 6.5. So we have come up with a soil amendment plan whereby we are using elemental sulfur. Elemental sulfur will help us, the sulfur bit will help bring the alkaline conditions down to between 5.5 to 6.5. Then we are also doing application of gypsum. Also, that one will also support and help in soil stabilization and also bringing also down the alkaline conditions to moderate. On top of that, that is our phase 1 of our recommendation for management of the soil pH. Problem number 2 we realized is that the initial soil analysis that we did in December did not have adequate amounts of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. All of them were below. So we did some applications of phosphate, and that was to supplement the phosphorus amount in the soil. From the second soil analysis, we also had a shortfall. We did not achieve the optimum levels that are required for the crop growth. From that, we have come up with a recommendation. I'll show you in our second shot down there. And you realize that our organic matter had not achieved the recommended 3%. So we have come up with a plan of how to build up the remaining bit to bring it to slightly above 3%. The third one, we also realized that we don't have enough of organic or green manure. And you'll also see in other shots whereby we'll have the shredding and everything happening so that we can be able to incorporate all that green compost, the poultry manure, the biochar, all of them, all those soil amendments, we input them there so that the eventual goal is to have, one, a stable soil of having proper nitrogen, organic matter above 3%, phosphorus being built up to the required levels, and also potassium, which is not a very major problem here, also being stabilized. So in our second shot, we'll be seeing the mixing up of the biochar with poultry manure, the shredding of the green manure, maize stalks, banana stalks, and all that, so that at least we can eventually understand what our eventual goal will be as far as the soil amendment procedure.
So as you see from the video, the importance of soil analysis and what we have done as Omae Farms, we've decided to have at least 2 soil amendments. The first one we do, the soil analysis, that gives us the baseline of our numbers, so what we have on the farm. We amend it based on the recommendations. And then we also do another soil analysis to see how our amendments have changed the characteristic of the soil or add the nutrients, or if what we added in there was enough or too much. And as you see, the importance of a second soil analysis, now you see if you put too much or too little, and then you adjust. We made adjustments, and after everything is done, we're going to do the third soil analysis to make sure that our levels are in the right proportion and the right levels. And now we're going to walk you through the amendment process. First is the soil analysis. Gives you what you're deficient in or what you have too much in. We found out that now after the second soil analysis, we found we put too much lime to neutralize the acidic level, and now we too much alkaline. We're at 7.49, and now we reduced that. Now we added all these things that we need to add, and now we're showing you the importance of adding biochar with your amendments and why. Our soil is a little bit sandy and prone to leaching. Leaching is when you add nutrients, Instead of the nutrients staying on the topsoil so that the plants can use, it just leaches down. It just goes all the way down, and the plants miss the opportunity to consume that nutrients for longer periods of time. By adding biochar, you will see the importance and how we are doing it. Let's watch and then we'll come back.
So welcome back again to our second phase of our soil amendment process. Just a quick link up is that, as I mentioned earlier, we are undertaking 4 particular steps. The step number 1 is what I have explained before, the application of elemental sulfur and gypsum that we have already discussed. Now, step number 2 is the build-up of organic matter into the soil. Over there, you can see some green matter, banana stalks that will be shredded. That will be our stage number 2, aimed at building up the organic matter. After that, we come now to the last stage. That stage will be application under slight laking, which is a bit manual now in the field. The very last stage of conditioning and stabilization is what I'm studying here. We have 2 components. What you can see here in black is called biochar. Biochar is basically carbonated charcoal. And what you can also see here is poultry manure. The recommendation is the application should be done at a ratio of 1:1. So we have got 5 tons of poultry manure here, and also we have 5 tons of poultry manure, and also we have 5 tons of biochar. That gives us a ratio of 1:1. After we incorporate this together, it has to stick here so that it can be able to harmonize itself. Biochar is non-organic. Poultry manure is organic. So after 2 weeks, they discharge both of them, and they are able now to rejuvenate the soil during the application. You let it stick here for 2 weeks. Then within that week, you do the direct application into the field. We also talked about the building up of organic matter in the soil, and we talked of green manure made of maize stalks, plant remains, and also banana leaves. So what is happening here is 1 pile of green compost made of what I've said, the maize stalks, green plant remains, and also banana leaves. Here we have our grading machine. This machine will grind all this into fine mulch. This will go to the field. It will act in 2 things. 1, it will act as a mulch, and second, also it will help us in building the composition of green or of organic matter. As I had mentioned, we are slightly below 3%. This will help us in mulching and also building up the organic matter to above 3% and improving soil microbial activity.
Now we see whether you're growing herbs, you're growing fruits, you're growing vegetables, you're growing trees. In our situation, we're growing fruit trees, herbs, and regular trees. We're growing the ashok. Ashok tree is famous in India. They're majestic and beautiful. And then we're also growing the Grevillea tree. So we're growing on the perimeter of the property. So we have a total of about 514 trees in our land. Most of it on the perimeter of the property, and the others, the mango trees, the orange trees, and things like that. So we're making sure that we have proper nutrients for them, because we don't want to wait 2 years to find out that the soil was not great and they didn't grow well or they died along the way. Now we see the importance from this video. You can see the importance of soil amendments and soil analysis, so you don't waste time waiting for it to grow, and then you find at the end of 6 months or 2 years or 3 years that your tree did not have enough nutrients because you didn't do it right the first time. The foundation is important to do the soil amendment. The other thing that I hoped you've learned from our journey is the importance of adding biochar to your soil amendments. By adding biochar, we see the scientific characteristics of biochar is porous structure, has those little pockets. It's kind of like a sponge. It holds water longer. It holds the nutrients longer, especially if you have a partially sandy soil. That's a great thing that you almost mandatory you need to put in your soil. We've gone through some frustrations. Farming isn't guesswork. Farming is a science. And when you follow the science, there's no way you're going to fail. We're going to have little issues here and there, but farming is a science and we're loving it. We got great things coming. Good night where you are. Good morning where you are. Good afternoon where you are. Until then, hasta la vista. Later.